Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Jacqui Van Ham, your girl in the know for all things motorcycle. Welcome to today's show, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to your Friday program out here. I know there was certainly nothing going on Wednesday that would have distracted everybody. So I figured I'd hold off on doing a Wednesday show and just make a great, big, huge, wham, bam Friday show. So indeed, today's show is action-packed. I've got all sorts of stuff going on. I've got some secret surprises and gifts that were sent to me this week. We're going to do a little bit of an unboxing. And then, of course, this week, unless you've been hiding under a rock somewhere or just avoiding somehow successfully the internet, Harley-Davidson had its big launch this week as well for a majority, not all, but a majority of their 2021 models. So we're going to go through a little bit of some of the bikes that they showed off, just some of them. I can't show all of them because there was a lot going on. It was like a 50-minute presentation. If you missed it, it actually was a really, really cool show. Like I said, it was about 50 minutes, so it's not going to eat up too much of your day. Beautiful cinematography, cool insights from some of the design team and some of the folks at Harley-Davidson Corporate. Some familiar faces sprinkled throughout. Anyway, go click over to the Harley-Davidson page here on Facebook and go check out the actual full great big huge show. As soon as I'm done though, don't go away too fast. And we're going to talk about some of the bikes here on the show. So click over and watch it or just stay tuned because I've got you covered out here like I always do. As always, I can see your comments, so feel free to peek in and say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. What's going on out there? Thanks for watching, everybody. So first things first, for today's program, a buddy of mine named Eric, who runs a company called Wolfman Luggage at wolfmanluggage.com, sent me a little bit of a gift this week. So I wanted to go ahead and unbox it. If you're not familiar with Wolfman Luggage, I absolutely love these products. These are all like super ballistic, waterproof, tear-proof, rough, tough. I saw some of the bags even featured on the Long Way Up show, the Ewan McGregor show, where they rode from the very, very bottom of South America all the way up to Los Angeles. That's over on the Apple TV. I think I just watched it like a week or two ago. Anyway, I spied with my little eye some of the Wolfman bags out there. So congratulations to him. That is quite a coup. These are absolutely wonderful bags. And so I'm just dying to know what he put in the mail to me. So let's go ahead and open up this box and check it out. And of course, huge thanks to Eric for sending this to me. This was very, very thoughtful, very generous. I always love surprises. And let's see what's going on for Mr. Eric. Oh, very cool. So he did put a bag. Oh, kick ass. So this is a really, really cool tote bag from Wolfman Luggage, which is awesome. I always need a tote bag. I'm always lugging around dogs and dog stuff and parts and snacks, and I am always in the mood for awesome luggage and awesome bags. Oh, look how cool that is. So this is going to be a little bit of a coated fabric. I can tell it definitely has some nice like waterproof ability to the outside, but it's an open tote, so obviously if it rains it's going to get wet in there. But I love the style of it. This is super, super cool. Thank you so much, Eric from Wolfman, for putting this in the mail to me. I absolutely love it. This very, very cool tote bag. And I bet you dollars to donuts that at least one of my little wiener dogs will fit in here. So maybe you will see a picture of one of my dogs in this out on my social media later on in the week. Huge thank you to my buddy Eric for putting that in the mail to me. That is incredibly, incredibly thoughtful and sweet, and it totally made my day. So thank you so much. Now let's get down to today's show. So as I mentioned, in case you have been living underneath a rock somewhere, you probably caught wind of the Harley-Davidson launch. If you did, go ahead and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Did you guys watch it? Did you click over and check it out? I think it was on Tuesday afternoon. Did you go and see it? Let me know if you did. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you thought about some of these beautiful bikes. But first things first, let's go through some of the deets. This is going to be, I'm not going to lie, I just totally lifted photos and copy for my friends over at Cycle World. The 2021 Harley-Davidson Bagger and CVO models are updated. New audio for the CVO models, while special trim baggers see some new graphics. Let's see, with a total of 27 models in Milwaukee's 2021 lineup, there's a lot of ground to cover. Although Harley-Davidson focused the majority of the enhancements on the new Street Glide Special, Road Glide Special, and Road King Special models, the 4 2021 CVO models also gained fresh styling and featured the debut of the new Harley-Davidson Rockford Fosgate audio system on the Cvo Street Glide and Cvo Road Glide models. Let's see. For 2021, Harley's trio of Milwaukee 8 114-powered low-riding hot rod baggers, so the special models get what Harley-Davidson is calling fresh swagger. The underpinnings are the same. The Road Glide Special and Street Glide Special gain a new two-tone paint option, a choice of either a blacked out or chrome treatment, and the very cool Prodigy cast aluminum wheels, 19-inch front, 18-inch rear, are exclusive to all the special models and feature an airy steel spoke look. So what I thought was really neat about that is indeed they did launch this neat cast wheel that has a very like spoke wheel look, feel, vibe to it. And I thought that that was really, really cool. It's got kind of like all the like nice classic looks of spokes, but the convenience of being a cast wheel. So I thought that that was pretty neat. The slide on your screen right now is the 2021 Harley Touring CVO model. So a really, really beautiful, you know, CVO is always going to be, it's custom vehicle operations, by the way. CVO is always going to have that super, super upgraded paint scheme. It's always going to have just like the most premium type package. That's what you're paying for with these CVO bikes. And by the way, the lovely woman who is riding that in the video is a buddy of mine, Mish, from Moto Fam, which is a really neat organization, a really neat charity that she runs. She's based out of Southern California, and it helps people that are in super catastrophic motorcycling accidents, send them a little bit of money to help get their life back together, pay off bills, and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, it's called Moto Fam. Go check it out. And I just wanted to give her a little bit of love because she also was in the video. The second slide on the screen, the 2021 Street Glide Special gains a Daymaker LED headlamp and spoke look cast wheels and is available in chrome or dark styling options. What else? This year, the Street Glide Special also showcases a new lower profile engine guard to underline the bike's slammed stance with a brighter Daymaker LED headlamp taking the lead for 2021. The 2021 Road Glide Special can also be ordered in bright or dark finishes. I believe that that is new for the Harley-Davidson folks. It sports the same new side fill tank and low profile engine guard like I just mentioned. And I just have to tell you that billiard blue or whatever they're calling it paint is just... oh my God, is that beautiful. I love that color. I love that bike. That is super wicked awesome. I absolutely love it. So I thought that that was really neat. It's called New Billiard Teal Paint. This does have those Prodigy wheels. I don't think I've got a still photo of it. Does feature those Prodigy wheels. As you'd expect, the 2021 Road Glide Special receives many of the same refinements as its Street Glide cousin with new chrome or dark styling options, yada, yada, yada. So you get the drill. So there's some upgrades going on with these bikes. Most importantly, the main thing to touch on is that these bikes are going to be coming in the 114. Some of these bikes are going to have that LED headlamp, new paint, of course, new finishes, black or chrome. Those are a lot of the things that they went through during the presentation. So that was all good news, just some beautiful looking bikes. They touched on what these kind of paint schemes and color options mean to them. They were talking about being in like a color story and lots of jewel tones. So really, really cool video. The 2021 Cvo Street Glide is one of the two New Year bikes sporting the all-new HD and Rockford Fosgate audio system. So again, another CVO. This is the Street Glide. You can already see all of the upgraded paint, the two tones, the faded paint. I mean, just beautiful, of course. That is what Harley-Davidson does well, making these beautiful, beautiful bikes. This is going to be the CVO Limited with a twin-cooled M8 117 powertrain. The 117 powertrain, by the way, is the largest factory-produced engine from Harley-Davidson to date. The Daymaker headlight, which is their code language for LED headlight. And what's really funny to me is this LED headlight that they kind of are making a big deal about, the Daymaker. That doesn't come stock on all of the bikes. I think that that's really weird. Why shouldn't bikes all have LED headlights nowadays? Anyway, just kind of a thing that I thought was kind of funny. and new paint options. They're also releasing a factory trike. Harley's super premium trike option for 2021 is the returning Cvo Street Glide, relatively unchanged for the new year. What else is going on? Let's see. Another thing that I just want to take a second and point out, that as much as all of this bike, as much as they were talking about all of the new bikes, a couple of words that were not used during the presentation would be the words Sportster. These words did not really come up an awful lot during this presentation. I did a show a couple of weeks ago talking about, is the Harley-Davidson Sportster shuffling on down the path, soon to be replaced with a different model? Who knows? Now, the Sportster is still listed on the website for 2021 for the U.S. market only. It is going to be gone, daddy gone for overseas market. They had an upgrade in their emissions program overseas, and they did not build a compliant Sportster for that market. So going forward, Harley-Davidson Sportster is only going to be living in this country. And then also worth noting is the sight of just 3 Sportsters in the 2021 lineup: the Iron 883, the Iron 1200, and the 48. Harley-Davidson's Rewire strategy was introduced back in April of 2020 as a cost-saving measure, with its big focus being on heavily trimming the product line and curtailing new product launches. That's evident in this 2021 lineup, as we're seeing the absence of the XFDR 114, gone. The Lowrider, gone. Breakout, gone. Street Bob 107, gone. The Deluxe, gone. The Street 750, gone. The Street Rod, gone. And Roadster models for this year, at least here in the U.S. market, all gone, daddy, gone. The Livewire, question mark, sources say that the model is set for a 2021 launch later this year, but we'll see. Next up for the company is the reveal of its highly anticipated Pan America, which there was a lot of folks watching Tuesday's launch were a little bit kerfuffled and didn't quite understand that the Pan America is not missing for 2021. It is getting its own dedicated launch in February. So you got to stay tuned and make sure you register, get that information sent to you. Make sure you click on over and check it out. I, of course, will be featuring that launch when it happens in February. But here is what I definitely can tell you. Is that Pan America 1250 launch, I mean, in a way, versus the launch that happened on Tuesday, they had to do it separate because the bike is so completely different from the rest of the current Harley-Davidson lineup. It not only deserves its own launch, I mean, it had to have its own launch. Does it make sense to show these great big beautiful touring bikes next to a bike that's like brapping out on the dirt doing its thing? No, it needed its own dedicated time and space and energy. That's going to happen in February. There also is rumored that they're going to be launching at that same digital launch another bike that is going to have that 1250 engine in it. I believe it's going to be the 1250 Custom, which is the only other 1250 bike that is featured on the Harley-Davidson website. It is my belief that it will be that 1250 Custom. It will not be the Bronx that was supposed to happen. There was a Street Fighter. I mean, there was a handful of bikes. There was like a flat track looking bike. In the Wayback Machine, before this rewire that happened in April, there was a handful of bikes that were going to go to production based off of that 1250, that new engine, that new platform. Currently, there's only 2 on the website, so it makes me think that that must be what's going on in February. They're just going to be featuring those 2 bikes. Anywho, let's get back to the show. What else is going on? They also featured on the show on Tuesday the 2021 Street Bob 114. It retains the Softail underpinnings but adds passenger seating, badging, and paint options. So I thought that was a really, really sharp looking bike. It's coming in that orange and black. It's coming in a white and black as well. As far as the review for the Tuesday event over on Cycle World, the cinematography was damn good, the lighting divine, and the production values outstanding. But the spare storyline of HD21 was focused on the Softail lineup, which added just 1 new model for 2021, the Street Bob 114. Sure, there were subplots and supporting characters, like a brawny Fat Bob 114 sporting a blingy refresh. as well as the subtle culling of what we assume to be the least popular models in HD Softail lineup. Like I just told you, the Lowrider's gone, the Deluxe, the FXDR, and the Breakout are all gone, daddy gone. So again, another one that is going to be coming out is going to be this Harley-Davidson, the Street Bob 114. Is that right? There we go. The Street Bob 114. Harley-Davidson is calling this color option Deadwood Green. It's a very like military green kind of look, and it adds an additional $400 to the base MSRP, but still a very, very cool looking bike. And then last but not least, the Fat Boy 114 also was featured, of course, and then they had some of the, were they the Davidson relatives? Like the great grandson and granddaughter. Anyway, a couple of the kids from the Harley-Davidson line, from the family from the OG family in the way back, were also featured on the show, and they in particular were talking about this bike. This Fat Boy 114 does have the kind of like solid looking wheels that's always kind of iconic for this bike, and it promises to be even bigger and chunkier and fatter. Is the fattest of the Fat Boys in this 114 engine. This was also featured on Tuesday's program. So that's what was going on for Tuesday afternoon. What did you guys think about that? Did you go ahead and click on over and check those bikes out? There was plenty more. Literally, I loaded up a truckload of slides to do today's show, and it crashed my computer program because I had so many pictures. So I had to kind of downsize real quick and just feature a handful of them. But you can go over and watch the whole program yourself. There's lots of cool stuff going on. Also, in Harley-Davidson kind of adjacent news, is this bike that's on your screen right now. I'm sure a bunch of you are like, well, what the hell is that? Well, this is a new project from Mr. Eric Buell. That's right, Eric Buell. Eric Buell, never say die. Viva Eric Buell for forever. Eric Buell is just this incredible American designer who has just been affiliated with a gazillion different companies and a gazillion different projects, and used to be affiliated, of course, with Harley-Davidson and the Wayback Machine. Well, after several rough, rocky starts and launches and relaunches and shutdowns and bankruptcies, he is back. Eric Buell is back, and his next company, which the name of this is possibly the greatest name for a motorcycle and a designer ever, because his name is Eric Buell. The company is called Fuel. How funny is that? How perfect is that? How iconic. Perfect. I love it. So anyway, Eric Buell is indeed back and doing bikes. However, this is going to be an electric bike, obviously. You can see that there's no engine in there. This is an electric bike. I love this. This is just obviously is just a sketch. This is not real. This does not exist yet. But I love that it's a step through. It kind of reminds me of the Honda Cub. I am super, super down and down and dirty into this bike. Whatever Eric Buell puts his mind to rethinking motorcycle design, it's worth paying attention. Few engineers have such an impressive record of innovation, and has shown no sign of letting up as his attention turned to electric bikes. Fuel, the brand Buell set up to offer his battery-powered creations, is already selling its first product. The Fluid e-bike and its Flow electric motorcycle is set to reach production soon, though it's told us e-bikes are being given priority right now due to current market conditions. Now, it looks like the next product from the company will split the difference between them. It's a modular machine that uses the same building blocks to create either a pedal-assisted electric bicycle or a scooter-style machine. The upshot is that by swapping out just a few components, the bike's abilities and even its legal status could be changed. Recent patents from Fuel reveal a new two-wheeler that appears to be based around the same magnesium monocoque structural idea as the Flow model, wherein the chassis also makes up the bodywork of the machine, with the batteries and electronics housed inside. The batteries sit vertically inside the front section, accessed via a flip-up lid that allows them to slot in from above. The patent shows 3 battery arrangements: a single small battery pack, a larger pack, or 2 of the small packs, all able to fit into the same compartment. This flexibility will allow Fuel to tailor the bike's range and performance to suit various price points. So I love that. I think that that is just super, super kick-ass. I think that that is very, very cool. I love this idea of it being a little bit of a modular type design, much like the folks over at Zero. You can keep and have spare extra batteries on hand, charging at your house or your garage or whatever, or carry an additional one with you. So when your battery that's on board runs low, you can just swap batteries. That to me is just a super, super kick-ass idea, and really helps solve some of these range issues that e-bikes and e-motorcycles are still having. You know, battery tech has not quite advanced as much as it was anticipated to have advanced by now, which is why e-motorcycles are still incredibly expensive, and their range is almost entirely limited to about 100. I've heard rumors of some of the new sport bikes that are like $30,000. Some of them get closer to 200 miles range, but relatively speaking, the range is still a bit of a hindrance. This is still a hurdle that they have to get over. So I love the idea of being able to swap batteries in and out. The next slide is one of the e-bicycles that Fuel makes and is in production with, and is going to be focusing all of their attention on, because in case you are not aware, during this period of COVID, bicycles and e-bicycles have just gone through the roof. Sales are just absolutely buck wild because people are looking for fun and interesting ways to recreate outside. So they're, of course, putting all of their eggs into this e-bicycle basket. That being said, I think that is beautiful. I think that is just a super clean, dope, classic design. I think that that is genius as well. So this section of the program is my love letter to Mr. Eric Buell, who I think is an absolute American icon and a genius. He knows no limits when it comes to his design ability, and I absolutely think that he is wonderful, and I wish him nothing but the best of luck. And I personally cannot wait to see this bad dog in production, because I really would love to ride the wheels off of that. I think that that is absolutely wonderful. So that's what's going on out here in your news. Last but not least, a couple of events that are coming up, a little bit of news as far as motorcycle events and racing going on. Next round for our friends over at Supercross. This is a spectator allowed event. Supercross, I have to give them they get another round of applause from me for today's show, because they have really skinned the cat and started to show the way that we might be able to have sporting and racing events going forward, having spectators at. I hope more race production companies get hip to this skip, as they're selling tickets and selling pods, basically. So you have to purchase either a book of 4 or a book of 6 tickets. All of them are together. They are separated from all the other little pods throughout the stadium. I mean, Supercross books at huge stadiums. There's plenty of room. Hell, most racetracks that people race at, there's plenty of room to do it this way, to skin this cat this way while we are still stuck in COVID. As opposed to slashing, burning, cutting, and canceling races, let's follow the Supercross path here and start selling tickets as these little groups of pods. That way we can continue having events going forward, right? I've even seen some concerts start to do this, where they're using bicycle racks and making these little groupings, and that's how you purchase tickets, as either groups of 4 or groups of 6, because they're pretty pricey. I mean, you could buy them just for yourself, I suppose, but as groups of 4 or groups of 6, and you are separated out from everybody else. You have your own table, your own little chairs. I think that that is a great idea. I think that is a great way for us to figure this out and continue going forward and continue having events. Anywho, the folks over Supercross have figured it out. They've got another race coming up on January 23rd. Which is tomorrow at Houston. That'll be their 3rd stop for racing in Houston. Then they relocate and they come up here to the Great North, and they are in Indianapolis next week on January 30th. So good news for the folks at Supercross. They are keeping on over there. They have racing going on. So if you are gagging to go to a live motorcycling event, make sure you check out their full calendar and see if they've got a stop near you. Another great piece of news that just happened this past week, the Daytona Chamber of Commerce, the Daytona, whatever you want to call it, City Council met together to decide whether Daytona Bike Week was going to happen or not. Daytona Bike Week did pass. It is on. They are going to allow permits. They are going to allow vendors. It is happening. It is real. It is happening in March. So Daytona Bike Week is a go. It is a green light for Daytona Bike Week. I am super excited about that. To me, it is the beginning of motorcycling season here in the United States, and I always look forward to it every year. Besides, it is in Florida, and by that time of year, I am dying for some sunshine and motorcycles and the beach. So I love Daytona. So I'm really excited to hear about that. The MotoGP also did release their new and updated calendar. There is a hashtag COVID casualty on the calendar for 2021. MotoGP is canceled for the United States. They're calling it postponed, but let's not play games here. It is at the very, 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 very last little spots on this calendar. I realize that slide is very, very small, so you're gonna have to go click over to MotoGP yourself. But just trust me, all the rest of the dates on here, there is not a stop at Austin, Texas, which is a real bummer. They're saying that it has been postponed, but they already have the final scheduled. You know, I mean, it's not going to happen. Their final is scheduled in November. They're not going to come to the U.S. in November or December. Let's not be crazy. So in my mind, it's canceled. They're calling it postponed, whatever. So unfortunately, it looks like the U.S. is going to be a COVID casualty, and we will not be getting a live round of MotoGP for 2021. Boo! But this is just a bit of a logistics issue. I really had a feeling this was how this was going to shake out anyway. Because these teams that are coming over, mostly from Europe, they're going to have to quarantine for 2 weeks before they get here, and then they have to quarantine for 2 weeks on the back end as they leave here, because we are still obviously in COVID. So I kind of figured that was how it was going to shake out, and sure enough, it did. But I will, of course, be following along on their MotoGP platform, streaming all of their races. I'll be following it because 2020 was a hell of a season for MotoGP. It had ups and downs and lefts and rights. I laughed, I cried. It was better than cats. It was just absolutely crazy for 2020. So 2021, I think, is going to be just as exciting. Marc Marquez just released a press release the last couple of days. He's back in training. He was out for almost or all of 2020 due to several catastrophic arm injuries. He had to stay out of like the entire season. He is in training, and he is planning on coming back for 2021. So it's going to be a wild ride, but it's not going to happen in the US, which is a bummer. But the show must go on. They will still be streaming it. They had great viewership, and they did a great job streaming everything for 2020. So make sure you go click over, buy that season pass. It's super reasonable, and you get to watch everything. All of the qualifying, all of the testing sessions. You get access to everything, and that's over at MotoGP.com. So that, my friends, is what's going on for this week out here in motorcycling. Woo! That was a doozy, right? That was a hell of a show going on out here. That was an awful lot of talking. Thank you so much for checking in with me out here on the comments. I appreciate all of you guys. As always, give me a like over on my page, the Jacqui Van Ham Official, and let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you liked about today's show. Tell me what you want to see. Let me know if you clicked over and you watched that show on Tuesday from our friends over at Harley-Davidson, and let me know what you thought about it. You know, I'm always down to hear what you guys have to say. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate you. Have a lovely weekend no matter where you are out there in the world. The sun is shining here in Kentucky finally, so I'm outside working on my camper van. As always, it's the endless camper van project. I've been outside working on that, and I will be out working on that again while the sun is out and it's a tiny little bit warmer. I'll be doing that this weekend, but I hope no matter where you are out there in the world, hopefully you get to go play on some motorcycles, have fun, ride safe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much again to my show partner for this past year, Vroom Retract Vac, vroomyvroom.com. It totally sucks, and it's supposed to. T-shirts are up and available at twostroketees.com. These are my t-shirts that I had printed up showing off my love of two-stroke machines. Maybe you love two strokes too. Go snag a t-shirt. Free shipping in the U.S. Choppertown Nation, thank you so much to Zach Kaufman and everyone here at Choppertown for clicking, liking, sharing, watching all of my shows. I also host these over on YouTube, and Choppertown has a channel over on Sling. We just got added to Sling this past week, so make sure to go check us out if you are over on the Sling streaming platform. Last but certainly not least, thank you so much to my goodie, my surprise, my tote bag this week from Eric over at Wolfman Luggage. Wolfman Motorcycle Luggage. Go check them out at wolfmanluggage.com.